Hey everybody, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and I wanted to provide you with 5 tips on how to start out at Graveyard Keeper. So right at the beginning here, and you see I've booted up a new game, they give you arrows that tell you where you should go, and everything is clear. Jerry the Skull guides you around. But as soon as this early tutorial vanishes, you're left wide open in a game that's extremely deep, fun, awesome, but a bit overwhelming if you aren't sure what you're doing. So what I'm going to do with these tips is hope to kind of guide you guys so that once the game opens up, you have a sense of what to do. Alright, so I've played through the brief prologue tutorial section of the game where you kind of talk to people, get an idea of what your purpose is and the story is, and now I'm at the point in the game where I want to give you tips. There's no longer a yellow arrow signaling what I should be doing. So to kind of help guide you, I have 5 tips that are more philosophical. They're large, open tips about the game that don't really give anything away, but will lead you down the path to progressing in the game and enjoying it more. In my opinion, when you get deeper into the game, more unlocks, there's more options, and it becomes even better. So, the first thing you want to do is inspect all of these items around you that have a magnifying glass, and they just kind of give you a sense of like what these things are. All right, and tutorials will unlock once you interact with things that do that. Now, that's just a preliminary. Here's my tip. Tip 1: destroy everything you can around your house and the nearby area around your house. Now, what do I mean? So, for example, these like scraggly bushes. If you go up to them, it will tell you, I'm using a controller, so it says Y. It will tell you what key to press to interact with it. And now I just dig up this bush. You will see I get resources from this. I get wooden sticks. But one of the cool things about this game is that not only do you get resources, which is what you would expect from a gathering game like this, you get experience. So you're getting experience and resources just by going around and effectively tidying up your workspace, because everything around your house here is where you're going to build your crafting stations so you can do business. So just go bust it up. Get yourself some experience and get yourself some supplies. All right, so whatever it is, rocks, trees, bushes, just go around and do this. And you can just do this for a long time. The thing about the game is, like, it gives you a sense of urgency to do things, but really just sit back and chill and relax. You can do everything on your own pace. You don't have to do it optimally. You don't have to race to the end unless you're trying to speed run or get some kind of high score. For what I'm doing on my playthrough is just, you know, doing what it takes to get there and making mistakes along the way, but enjoying myself. If you want more in-depth gameplay and a full playthrough of the game, please check out my Let's Play series of this very game and watch me go from this very beginning all the way through the game. Now, if I go into my screen and I get here by I'm pressing options on my controller, you can get to your inventory. You'll see that I've got some stones, I've got some sticks. These are all things that I've gathered by just knocking around into things. All right, so tip 1, just do this, and do this for days. Time passes in this game as you do anything. Even if you're standing still, time is going to pass. Now, when you run out of energy, it is time to go to sleep. All right, so this will lead us into tip number 2. All right, so Like I talked about before, check out anything with a magnifying glass. Now, this will take you downstairs. Remember I said tip number 1 was break everything outside your house? Tip number 2 is break everything in your basement. Continue to do this. But check this out. Instead of getting resources like sticks, you actually get completed resources. So all of these busted barrels that used to belong to the former graveyard keeper, you can break, and you're going to start getting flitch and nails, which are resources you need for doing tip number 3. And these bags contain flour. Alright. Flour. We're getting all kinds of resources just by chopping this up. We're getting experience, red experience, and we're getting flitch. Alright. So now you're breaking everything up here. Once you've done this, let's check this trunk, see if there's anything in here. Why, there's a recipe for things that we can make. And just use the recipe, and now you know how to make baked mushrooms and baked apples. There you go. Okay, tip number 3, alright, is now not about breaking things, it's about building things. Now what you want to do is build everything that you can. So go to your drafting table here and see what I can build that I don't have. Well, I can build a furnace. I don't have that. I have a timber stockpile, and I have a stone stockpile. So right now, the only thing I can build that I don't have is a furnace. It tells you what it takes. It takes flitch, a piece of stone, and simple iron parts. Well, guess what? By breaking up the stuff below the house, I have enough simple iron parts. I just need 4 stones to do this. So, what do we need to do? Well, let's go around and find some stone. Just going back to tip number 1, break everything to get the resources. There we go, and let's just get a little extra stone. Okay, now we have enough stone to lay down a furnace. So you select it, and then it lets you slide it wherever you want. The yellow and black construction tape indicates which regions you can build things in, and this is why I had you clear space so that you could build something up here. All right, you can put this wherever you want. It really doesn't matter, just as long as it fits. You can like rotate it, you know, however you want. I'll have it like this. And then you need to go over. Remember, nothing is done. Some things are, but if it has this construction sign, it means you need to actually build it. So he's gonna like take energy to hit this with his hammer, and he'll build it. Boom. And now I can craft things here. So what can I make? Well, I can make iron ingots if I have the materials, which I don't, but now I've built that. So what you want to do is go to every single table that has blueprints on it and see if there's something that you can build. All right? Now, this is kind of a subset of tip number 3, which is build everything. The cooking table doesn't have blueprints on it, but you can make stuff. All right? And so if you see, I got a bunch of flour already, right? And here's a tip for making things here. What you want to make is something to eat so that you can recover your energy beyond sleeping, so you can stay awake longer in the day and actually do more. And so you need to make dough. Well, I've already got the flour. I just need water. So if you want water to make something, you just go to your well and you interact with it. You hold down Y and he brings up a little bucket. All right, now here's what I'd like you to do. Press to go to your inventory, and then over top of the water bucket, click equip and select it to one of your hot slots. All right, so I now have it to my left directional pad. You can put it wherever you like. The reason you do this is you have to actually use the bucket of water to get the drops that you need to make things. If you don't use the bucket of water, you can't draft things. All right, so then you go here and let's make some dough. If you click on making dough, you'll just make one piece of dough. Actually, you make 4 for 1, all right? It gets you experience and it gets you dough. But let's check this out. You see how on the dough it's saying I have 13/2 and 37/3? That means it takes 2 pieces of flour and 3 drops of water to make dough, and the number on the left side of the slash is telling me how many of that item I have. And so if I actually push the right button or click on this right arrow, I can now make more at one time. And so once it goes red, it means I can't make that many, but I have enough to actually make 24 dough. And so I'm going to make all of this, okay? I'm going to make all this dough, and you see I'm getting green experience and dough as I'm doing this. Okay, so just, like I said, make everything. All right, now, let's go here. Remember I picked up some sticks. To cook anything at the oven, you have to have fuel. And so let's use these sticks. So I'm going to put them in there, and then I'm going to cook this dough into bread. You see I can make bread, okay, to eat. So again, using the right arrow or the right button, I'm going to just tell it to make 8 bread. That's as much as I can make with the fuel I have. If you want to make more, you can go out and harvest more fuel, more sticks. All right, boom. Now the oven makes it over time, so you can just click this and go away. I'm out of energy and I have no food to eat, so what I need to do is sleep. And while I'm sleeping, this bread will keep baking and it will give me something to eat. Tip number 3 was build everything. Tip number 4 is buy everything you can with your experience. So you notice that every action I'm doing is giving me experience. And if I go into my character sheet and I go to the technology screen here, in the upper right corner, right here, it says I have 28 red experience, 17 green experience, and 0 blue experience. Generally, red experience you get from doing physical things like building stuff, making metal, making nails, that kind of activity. Green comes from doing something natural like gardening, growing crops, chopping down trees. And blue comes from doing things with the church, doing things with more advanced graveyard keeping. You really get no blue experience early, but that's fine. All we need to worry about right now is red and green. If you go into your technology tree, everything that is in here, and you can switch all your tabs. Cooking you don't need to do anything with, but you've got, you know, anatomy and alchemy, theology, book writing, farming, smithing, building. Everything here can be unlocked with experience. If it's green, that means you have the requisite experience to do it. If it's grayed out, it means you're missing some, or you're missing a prerequisite to get there. So tip number 4 is just unlock everything. Use your experience to just buy as much stuff as you can. Now, remember before when I said don't get stressed? Don't get stressed about the optimal path. Just take a look at what's available and build what you think is a good idea. You know, I mean, for me personally, I like building right away. I don't think that going for the anatomy and alchemy is a super great idea early because you can't really use these parts super early in the game, but if that's what you want to do, then go for it. The game provides so much experience that it's not going to cost you anything to get this stuff. It's going to be easy. Now, if I were going to recommend some things, for me, I feel like smithing and building are the most important for you to get online, but hey, do what you want. So what I'm going to do is get sawing open, and you just buy it, click it, and then I'm gonna look at some other stuff. But for now, when you open this tech, it lets you create wood billets and flitch from the sawhorse. So we go back to the previous step, which is build everything. Well, now we have a new thing we can build, which is a sawhorse. And then this takes you back up the tree to tip number 1, which is just chop down everything around your house. Now, if you chop down a tree of this size, you will get sticks, red experience, green experience, and you will get this big log, all right? And you could just pick up this log and put it right here onto your wood stockpile and use it for later for things that require logs, then you can actually get rid of the stump if you like. All right. So these bigger trees you can't take down with the axe that you have now, so just move on to a different one. And I'm just trying to get enough sticks. I'm going to pick up this log and carry it down. I'm just trying to get enough sticks to build something else. So how much do I need for the sawhorse? Just 2 more sticks. So here's some sticks right here in my work area. Get rid of these babies. And now we've got enough. And now you just build the sawhorse wherever you want it. And put it right here by the logs. And we can then go build this. And now we can make wood billets and flitch and wooden markers for the graveyard. So when you are thinking about what you want to do with your experience, honestly, just buy it all. It's all good. It all helps. Some of the later ones are more fringe, but early on, you really can't go wrong. And you're going to run into a roadblock early where you start needing blue experience orbs for things, and you just don't have those. So, you know, I'll do firewood. Heck, you know, I'll do stoneworking. Sure. And then now I can build more stuff, right? I can build a chopping spot to do firewood, and I can build a stone cutter. So you just kind of bounce back, and when you are looking for something to do, see if there's anything you can unlock with your technologies, just looking at the different trees. And then when you need more experience, you just go back up the chain to gathering things. This will give you resources and experience to just keep this whole line going. All right, now tip number 5 is to explore everywhere you can and talk to everyone you can. So if you look at the map, you'll see that early on it's just surrounded by like these clouds. I've been to the village, so I can see the village, but look at all the places around me that I can't see because I haven't been anywhere. So if, for example, I go up this way, I'm going to come across an area where I've never been. And what the game will do, once you move far enough into a new region, is it will reveal the map. Now, this area is blocked off, and it says blockage, and you want to clear the path. One of the things that you want to do in terms of like building everything is opening up all these paths inside your basement, around your area, building bridges so you can get to new areas, talk to new people. So when you're exploring, you can unlock new areas and new people to talk to. But remember I said for tip 5, you're going to want to explore everywhere you can to see what is in your way. Like, for example, I can't go over here until I fix this bridge. And it's going to take a wooden plank, some flitch, and some nails to do this. So now you get an idea of what you need there. You want to talk to everyone that you find in these new places. And then if you're also stuck at an impasse, like you've built everything, you've destroyed everything, you've got plenty of resources, open up your screen here and go to known NPCs. This will show you everyone that you've talked to. Remember, you're exploring for tip 5 and you're talking to everyone. And when you talk to people, they give you quests or objectives. And when you're not sure what to do, open up this and see if you can go back to anyone and progress their storyline to then open up new possibilities for you and new quests. And then to do those quests, you're going to need to build new things, gather new resources, craft new things, use your experience to unlock new technologies or recipes. And this process just keeps going on and on and on. And that's it. Those are my top 5 tips for starting out in Graveyard Keeper. If you break everything around your house, you will get resources and experience. If you then break everything inside, you will get more resources and experience. If you build everything, you will be able to complete the quests and make yourself better at gathering resources, getting experience. And then, if you aren't able to build new things, you can spend all that experience you've earned in the different experience trees to unlock new possibilities for building. Then, make sure you've visited everything you can on the map. Go everywhere. Anywhere you see these clouds, follow the path, explore that area, see what's up there. See if you need to unlock a new area by building a bridge or destroying an obstacle. Talk to everyone you can. See what you can buy from each vendor or each NPC so you have an idea of where materials are. And then, when you are pretty satisfied with all of the things that you can build and craft, go back to this regularly and see what you need to do to progress these storylines, which will overall lead to the end objective of the game, which is, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's basically to get back home by beautifying your graveyard and working some major magic to send you out of this reality and back into your own reality. Now, I do want to give one bonus tip if you stuck around all the way to the end, and that is storage. Storage is so important. So, for example, the game builds you trunks at several of the work sites to help give you an idea of this. Anything that you put in your trunk by a work site, like for example, if I put these parts and these nails and this stone and these flitch and these sticks, can be used at these workstations. So if I go here, I can actually make billets or flitch from the logs that are at this, or I can go here or in my workbench, and instead of carrying things around in my inventory, I can use the items that are in the trunk by the work area without having to carry them around, so you can free up your inventory space. So for example, inside the house, I'm still making that bread. I can put cooking stuff, you know, like dough and water. All right, things that I want to store in here. And then when I go to the table, I can actually use this dough and water. You can see it shows up here, 20 dough, without having to carry it around. I have a trunk at the foot of my bed just for extra stuff. All right. So if you feel like you have something that you don't need, you can dump it, okay? So you can build more of these trunks to store even more and help keep your inventory streamlined, and then you can draw items from these trunks without clunking up your inventory. So that's kind of the bonus tip. Be organized and put items and ingredients in the locations that are appropriate to their crafting location. And you don't know that stuff at first, so it's totally cool to just dump stuff and then see what goes where and then rearrange later. It's not like, you know, that just takes time, but that's fine. And that's it. That's all I want to say in this introductory video. These 5 tips are not, they're macro level tips, not micro level tips. They just give you a sense of what this game is like, what the play cycle is like, a flow chart for how to go through the game whenever you get stuck, and give you a good foundation for really enjoying this fantastic game. I can't recommend it highly enough. I hope you enjoyed these tips and feel that they give you a good idea for how to get started in this game. If you have any questions for me about the game, please post them in the comments below. If you want to see more tips, more videos like this, let me know in the comments below and I will produce more content like this. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this and get value from it and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, could you please do so? I'd really appreciate it. And I hope you have an excellent evening or day, and I will check you guys in the next video. Remember, I have a full Let's Play of this game. I'm not actually done with it now at the time of this recording, so you can even jump in live and interact with me and the other people who are viewing the game and enjoying it and participating in the community exchange. It's awesome. We have a really vibrant community of watchers who are also playing along and adding their own tips. So if you want to jump into that, feel free. Check out the other playlists for this game. You are going to dive in and just have a blast with this like I am. All right, everybody. Take care.